Welcome to Cat the Minion YouTube channel. My name is Teresa, but you can call me Cat. This is going to be a weekly overview, if I enunciated every syllable, for the 16th through the 19th. That's May. If you want to skip around, there's timestamps in the description below, so you get a daily read. Sometimes the whole week flows together, so you might have to watch the whole thing anyway, but if you're looking at a specific day, you can skip around. Normally, each pile has one card from each of 3 decks. I got a lot of double cards. I think I got double cards for at least one pile from each of the decks. And I think that has to do with the large cluster of Gemini energy. So on the 20th, the Sun in Gemini. We've got Venus in Gemini. We got Mercury in Gemini. We've got the North Node in Gemini. And the Moon was just in Gemini, but it's not. The Moon is in Cancer when this week starts. So but there's still a little bit of the energy flowing around. I think that's it. Mars in Cancer, Moon in Cancer. Interesting. I didn't notice that the previous week there was a lot of Mars energy around Moon energy. And I did not remember that, even though I wrote my notes down right beforehand. Anyway, we'll see if that comes up again. But we've got a fresh week. We've got fresh decks. So I've got this is my Morgan Greer deck. I call it my deck because I own it and also because I modified it. So I've got fancy backs that took me 5 days to do. I've got my Aquarian Tarot deck, which is also modded because I trimmed it. It's really sharp right now. And then I've got the Mystical Shaman Oracle deck. Took me a minute to access the words there. It's like seeing the picture on the front of the deck in the box. I mean the book in the box. And the big box. The Mystical Shaman Oracle. Alright, so I'm going to get into this because there's a lot of cards. There's multiple extra cards. Let's move these aside for a second. Come on. So we're looking at Sunday the 16th. Tower energy and also the Sun. Again, Martian energy coming in because of the towers ruled by Mars. Could also break down to 7, which is the Chariot, which is wheel-shaped here, but maybe. Alright, let's look at the cards. The Emperor inverted. I just heard the Emperor's new clothes. So, and also deposed. I've been deposed. A lot of solar energy here. Is that in the frame? A lot of solar energy here. I'm going to make sure my stuff is focused right. My setup is not very user-friendly. I think that could be a little better. If I put it here, though. Okay. That's a little better. So a lot of solar energy. This Emperor. It's very, like, burned, or scorched earth, desert-looking kind of a place. He's got a phoenix here. This is, like, shot down in flames. I'm hearing AC/DC screaming in my head, right? Because the phoenix is burning up. It's not rising from the ashes yet. I'm seeing Jim Carrey at the end of The Mask where he's getting shot up in the bar. And he's doing this, like, dramatic Western thing where he's like, ooh, ah, ee, He's like, you got me, partner. That's what that's giving me. 10 of Pentacles inverted. I just heard like something house, but I was thinking of like somebody losing in gambling. It's not don't bet against the house, but it was something else. But this is... I'm getting like losing money in gambling though. It's weird. I don't often get stuff that's that specific. If it's not exactly that, it's something that has a similar... it's like... If I give something that sounds like a specific example like that, like money lost in gambling, I've lost my house gambling. I burned myself really bad financially. It's not necessarily that specific thing where somebody went into a casino and lost their house playing blackjack. It's that can act as an archetype for something that has a similar energy pattern. So you might have bet on something that you really wanted or someone, and it didn't come through, and you took a hit because of it, you know, like something valuable that made you feel safe was compromised in some way because something that you had put a hope on didn't come through. In a very literal sense, I just smoked my finances. So we have Luminous Warrior coming in inverted, which means there's a medicine, and I'm not using the book right now. When they're inverted, it means there's an energy that's off balance, and there's a specific healing needed to pull that energy back into a flow. Luminous Warrior 32 breaking down to 5. That's a shift or a pivot. So I have 4, I have 10, I have 5 here. There's something that's missing, which is the Magician, the 1. This Luminous Warrior card, as I understand it, when I'm not reading out of the book, as told to me in one of my channelings also, this warrior goes into the darkness and doesn't become afraid of the darkness. He, because it's a masculine here, we're talking about the Emperor, goes in, you know, it's like, ooh, people are scared of the dark, there's something grabbing my foot, I've got a sleep paralysis demon, I can hear things chewing on stuff, there's water dripping, it's scary, I don't know, ew, don't touch me, you know, that, like, in the dark. The Luminous Warrior is like, this word came up in the previous week too, bioluminescent, in that he is generating his own light from his solar, from his third eye, his crown is lit. Right? The darkness doesn't necessarily bother him because he's trusting his own guidance. But it's inverted. It's like, I'm afraid of losing this stuff, and yet somehow I still manage to end up with it on the line. What's the lesson there? It's not like, oh, well, now I'm just going to have no value for anything because what's the point? It's like I take the value of what these things meant to me with me. It's almost like forcing a separation from the physical world in order to understand things more spiritually. And it's not saying you need to go and... Is it asceticism? When you give up worldly things, you don't have to... It's not to say, like, be separate from physical things. And that's the only way to gain spirituality. It's saying there's a reason to deal with an ego that's afraid of things being taken away. Why do people gamble? Because there's this thrill of maybe getting more. What is risk? Risk is usually a gamble, but it can be wildly unwise. It could be I'm in over my head, or it could be, you know, I need to do something to shift my energy. What can I do? There's an opportunity here. Maybe I should take it. And then it ends up being too risky, or you saw the opportunity and somehow there was a disconnect from the spiritual world, and you're like, well, what do I do? Well, I don't know. I'm just going to do it, you know, and then it ends up being like, crap, now I have to start over, right? I have to rise from my own ashes. But in the rising from your own ashes, that's where the luminous warrior is essentially the phoenix itself. He's even got like wing buds over here. 10 of Pentacles energy, because I need to wrap this up. Also, I'm going to have to change the battery too. It's going to die pretty soon. 10 of Pentacles. Where's my thing? Mercury in Virgo. So we're already looking at Mercury retrograde, even though it doesn't happen for another 13 days. Interesting. It's almost like a countdown. I don't see any number 13 unless I chop the 3 off of here and add it to the 10. But this is definitely looking towards Mercury retrograde. Mercury rules Virgo. But I also see, I mean, a lot of the times I can see Virgo as the inner child, especially in terms of feeling vulnerable and like something's being taken away. Like where the ego of lack, fear of losing things, often comes from childhood, but it could be past life issues. And I say past life loosely because time isn't really linear. But in terms of people understanding what I'm saying, it can be a past life issue. It can be an ancestral issue too. It can be in your DNA. Because there's the Emperor here, the father, and I see this family here. This little kid isn't inside the big blanket with the parents. The little kid's got his own blanket and he's not as protected. I'm just saying he again because these other characters are he. It can be ancestral, but it could also be an inner child issue. It's like a risk assessment. But also, oh, there goes my throat chakra. Oh my god. Risk assessment. See, this is where this comes in. It's like I'm afraid to even speak the truth about it. The fear is like a choking fear. Like, what if it's all taken away? I have to make sure that I have more. Even if it means a risk of losing everything. If I succeed in getting more, then I'll be okay. It's always like another step for that carrot dangling in front of you because there was something taken away or missing either in childhood or in the DNA ancestrally. Okay. Could go back to Cataclysm thousands of years ago. A lot of people are going to have that in their DNA if it's a global flood, so sea levels and all that. I'm going to get a sip of water. Hopefully the battery won't die till I'm done. I think that was the most dramatic voice close-up I've had doing a reading yet. Because the other one, it's like usually when I'm sick or I've been coughing and talking for like 3 hours. Okay, so we have the moon, we have the 17th, so we have the moon energy for Monday, and then we have the star energy, 17, breaking down to 8, which could also be background strength and or justice energy. Okay, so we have the Devil inverted. Saturn retrograde starts in Aquarius on the 23rd, so we have the pre-shadow, just like we got the 13 days pre-shadow looking towards Mercury retrograde. Now we've got the Saturn retrograde. We're looking ahead 6 days. 15 breaks down to 6. Countdown again. So we've got our first daily double over here. Beauty Way, number 4. Ooh, I was looking at this and I was thinking, oh, behave. There's like a fly there. Oh, no. It's drawn, it looks like a fly, but it's holding something. It's like a bee with pollen. Beeswax candle. There's a dragonfly here, and it's holding something as well. It's holding like a little moon. The Beauty Way. This is kind of similar to the energy of the Lovers. The Devil inverted, breaking down to a 6, can also be like the Lovers. The Beauty Way is like a combination of the Lovers and something else. I don't remember what it is right now. But it's like an unconditional love, like an opening. Like it's the connection to the heart center in order to be in line with the synchronicities, right? When I was talking about taking risks and you have something before you and all of a sudden all you can see is the material world and you're like, I don't know what to do. And you freak out and you just go for it because you have to fight or flight and you're like, I'm going. And then you're like, shit. This is that the devil is sort of like, people are like, the devil made me do it. The ego, but it's also a binding to that pattern. This is the releasing of the pattern and the opening of the heart into, which is the energy that's vibrating. Which path do I take? The synchronicities are coming back. And that's twin here. Water, 61. Breaking down to a 7. I see it on upside down is 19, but it's making me think of 16, the tower over here, an emotional overhaul. And I said this was the heart center as well. The inner waters are moving. And then we have the Aquarian tarot here. Now we have the 3 of Pentacles. Right? Instead of losing it all, I can rebuild. But it's like I don't have to worry about trying to have all or nothing. I can start with just a little bit and make something nice and secure out of that. Right? It's like I'm not always looking for the bigger, better deal. I'm going to work at this. I'm going to like be able to feel it in my hands, right? I don't want to just buy something prefab. I want to make it from the ground up. Now I'm going to change the battery. I was just thinking how much I like this color scheme when I was changing the battery, putting the other one on the charger. Okay. So let's look at Tuesday, the 18th. So 18, the number of the moon. And then we have Mars energy. Mars is in Cancer, which Cancer rules the moon, although for some reason in the tarot they decided that Pisces rules the moon card, and I was like, nope, so I switched it in my own little system and decided that the High Priestess should be the one that's got Pisces. Somebody was high that day. Alright, so we have a double here. The 4 of Wands. Right? It's like the Emperor fell. We had 3 of Pentacles. And now we have 4, which is the Emperor number in a lower vibration, but it's the, not only is it this twin flame, right? 1111. So it could be coming together with a person, but it's also this idea of universal timing. It doesn't have to be a relationship. It can be the masculine and feminine energies coming together, which we would get if we had the lovers. It showed up as the devil inverted in particular, instead of showing up as the lovers. And then we have the Two of Wands as well. Look at that, 6 wands. Trying to make the lovers out of wands cards. This is like a choice here, which is a low vibration of the lovers. The 2s can be, and the 6s can also be low vibrations of that, because it's a choice. Right? It's like, this one in particular makes me think of Jack and the Beanstalk. It's like instead of one, like a bunch of it's like one big one, because it's like an orb. But it could be a sack of beans. There's just no like lumps in it. Jack and the Beanstalk, right? It's like, hey kid, I'll sell you these beans if you give me your cow. And he goes home and his mom's like, dude, what the fuck? You know, and then the whole story unfolds and he ends up rich anyway, but it's a huge gamble. And, you know, he's not going off with it. He's looking at the guy, he's weighing the option. He's like, I mean, I came out here to work on this thing over here, so, like, maybe not. Mars in Aries. And this is Venus in Aries. Where's Venus? Venus is in Gemini. Aries is in Cancer. Alright. I gotta worry about where Venus is right now. But the overall energy here is like I choose what I'm building and I'm not going out on a limb here. Like literally out on a limb. I mean, Jack and the Beanstalk might not be a great example because it turned out fine for him. But in general, if somebody tells you they have magic beans, 9 times out of 10, I mean, the only thing the beans are going to do is give you gas. So we have a double here as well. 8 of Rods inverted. So we have more Wands energy. Something slow or a lack of communication. And then the High Priestess. I feel like I called her out. She really wants to be Cancerian energy because I mentioned the moon. But Jupiter has just run into Pisces. And the 8 of Rods, Mercury in Sagittarius, which is ruled by Jupiter. So, Mercury retrograde touching Jupiter in Pisces. Nothing's happening, and I'm not, it's like there's nothing happening. But I feel like something should be happening. I'm seeing this as like a temptation. You know, like, I finished building my castle, right? I was working on it on the 17th. We're having a grand reopening. Nothing's happening. I'm like, am I supposed to, like, go back to my old ways? And, you know, if you pay $400, this grand opening post will reach an additional 50 people. Like, I don't know, man. Like, because this High Priestess looks kind of sad. She's sitting in the castle all alone, looking out the window like, well, that castle has people in it. What the fuck? This is a 2, and this is a 2 as well. Like, I'm trying to figure out what to do, because nothing's happening. So we have the Owl, 39. Breaking down to 12. The Hanged Man is Neptunian energy. That's that Pisces energy again. I'm trying to get downloads. Here, it's like, what's happening? I'm not getting anything. I'm just turning around the wrong frequency. Like, you need to put a piece of tinfoil on the end of the radio. This owl is coming in with messages, though. But I also feel like it's staring you down. It's like your higher self, like forcing you to look at yourself. 3 separates into the Empress. That's this abundance, but also a balancing energy. It's grounding. But the aspect that... Oh, see, this is where it comes in, because Libra is in Gemini. No. Venus is in Gemini. It's like the energy of the Empress wants to ground, because the Taurian aspect of Venus is used to being grounded. Something was going on in Taurus as well. Oh, the new moon. But it's sort of like between the new moon and then Venus going into Gemini sort of uprooted her. And her radio station isn't getting the same juice that it was because the ground got cut off. But the 9 here, the Hermit, goes back to this Virgo inner child potential energy that was coming in on Sunday. But the Hermit usually means I need to go within. So, okay, this is what's happening. This is a repeater lesson. You just built yourself back up, and you've got somebody showing you a flashy offer, and you're like, ooh, I don't know what to do. I'm like, why am I not getting any messages? Your higher self is challenging you to break the cycle for good by not betting your new house on something that's unstable. To break your soul cycle or your ancestral cycle. And if you're not getting the downloads in your time of need and you just go to a flight, it's saying, if you're not feeling grounded, go deep within. Right? The owl's eyes are very piercing. This owl is not in flight. It's sitting. But it doesn't look like it's really on the ground. It looks like it's like inside, like the magic school bus inside the human body. Like it's in a weird chamber. Like somebody put it in a milk bottle. So this is saying, like, if you feel like the situation's coming up again, don't freak out if things are kind of slow motion. Oh no, it's happening again. Where's my downloads? I just went through this whole thing. This lesson is repeating because it's trying to make sure that you understood the concept, right? This is the final paper. I'm not getting, I'm not getting any more study sessions. Where's my help? It's like, the way to jack into the cosmos is to go within. Okay? I feel like I repeated that like 5 times. Hopefully it made sense that time. Alright, so let's look at... Oh man, I just got a little bit nauseated. I need water. So we're looking at the 19th. So we have the number of the sun breaking down to 10, which is the number of the wheel, which breaks down to 1, the magician, but it can also split off and have that fool number 0. the Magician is mercurial energy, so we might think of the Fool because we have a 1-0, but ultimately breaks back down to the 1 again. The Magician. I just had like 3 songs try to come into my head at once and it did not work well. So we have the King of Cups. Wow. Upgrade. Let's say we went from a 4 to a 14. That's a lot. That's a jump of 10. King is a 14. He can also be a 1. Right, 1. 5 is a shift or a pivot, but it's also that Hierophant number, right? I'm cosmically connected. He looks like he's got some kind of special work equipment. The lightning rod. So we have a double here. The curse, 14. Ooh, the same number even. Okay. And thunder, 56. I have these Berfeler inverted, indicating medicine is needed. I know what this card is, and I kind of remember what thunder is. I know specifically that the curse is something that I've already talked about in this reading. And I have a double here as well, so we'll bring these in. King of Rods. Right, look, I said he's got a lightning rod. And then thunder came out, and now he's got another one with a friggin' spelunking light there. Oh, rock climbing lamplight and like a Bentley hood ornament on his head or whatever the hell. Then the moon inverted. Moon inverted often tells me the sun. But this can also be the new moon as well, which was on the 11th in Taurus. And we were talking about Taurus just a second ago. Thunder is a lot like the universe is giving you like a spirit slam. It's really kicking you in the ass. Here I'm seeing this as it's not necessarily that the universe is handing you your own self anymore. Because what's here, what needs to be balanced, what needs to be shifted is the curse. And I was talking about ancestral trauma. That's what this is. Something that doesn't seem to go away. It's like right, just stuck right in there in the DNA. A pair of kings. I just heard a royal flush as well. Look at this. 2 kings is halfway back up to the emperor. We have shift, shift, shift. 56 is an 11. The moon was on the 11th, that new moon in Taurus. Thunder, buffalo, that's Taurus as well. This is giving me eruption, right? It's not I have butterflies in my stomach. I have a herd of buffalo. And it's almost like it's erupting out of my mouth. And here, the curse, there's a hand over the mouth. It's like I'm keeping this I'm keeping your cosmic trap shut, right? Shut your trap. Your mouth. The owl was saying go within. But what is within? It's these buffalo. It's like, this rumbling of power that's been suppressed by this ego distortion from this trauma that's either from the childhood or in the ancestral line. Here is the curse. It's probably more ancestral than anything else. Right? It could all, I mean, it definitely could be your past life because sometimes people reincarnate in the same families. But I'm trying to explain this, but also follow this path, right? Rumblies downstairs, right, in my core, my internal self. I'm seeing Taurus energy. I'm seeing grounding. but I'm seeing the thunder as the eruption opening the trap. And it maybe that's like the opening of the mouth ceremony with the Egyptians. It might, I feel like I'm hitting on one of the subtle meanings. If the moon is inverted, then this secret is coming out that is one of the alternate meanings that has nothing to do with I was going to say it has nothing to do with going into the underworld, but what is the underworld but the darkness where the luminous warrior would have to learn to manifest his own lightning? And both of these kings have stuff that looks like lightning rods. They're both suited up in special attire. I don't know if I can explain how profound this segment is, but I'm going to leave it there for a little bit. There's a lot of Gemini energy, a lot of Mercurial energy moving around as the month gets on. This is the day before the sun on the 20th actually moves into Gemini. It's like, this is what's going to happen, right? It's the rumble before the eruption. I expect there to be some kind of eruption on the 20th. So we have Jupiter energy, the sun moving into Gemini, Jupiter itself having moved into Pisces, which is the subconscious, right? That's kind of, it's where people go, it's like the astral. Because the deep underworld is really Plutonic energy, which is retrograde in Capricorn. Right, to go into the underworld is to burrow in deep into the core. I don't know. Well, it might have been the previous week that I was talking about the Marianas Trench. I think it was. But it's the entire month of May has that energy. But I was talking about the darkness in the underworld and the interior world and the subconscious. They're all related, but they're like different flavors and depths. So we've got a double here. 6 of Wands inverted. So this is a victory card normally. But the way that I'm seeing this is like, I don't want to be famous. I'm also getting this like, once you see them, they can see you kind of energy. I think that was in Constantine. Like, once you can see the demons, they can see you. But here we have the Hermit. Which I was talking about with this owl from the 18th. My segment stopped. I had to go back. I don't know what I was saying, but I had just pulled the Hermit out, and I was going to go like this and say something. But let me go back. Oh, I know what it was. Okay. The Hermit is Virgo energy, which is mercurial. And the 6 of Wands is Jupiter in Leo, right? So I have the Sun energy, Leo, moving on the 20th into Gemini, which is the sibling of Virgo, because they're both ruled by Mercury. Oh man, it's nuts. Mercury retrograde while all this stuff's going on in Gemini. That's why there's so many cards. So many doubles. And then Jupiter for Thursday, right? Jeudi, or Thor, equivalent of Zeus. Especially with all those buffalo the day before, the thunder, right? The god of thunder and lightning. Jupiter. So Jupiter and Leo in the day, Jupiter and Leo in the card. This is inverted because Mercury is going retrograde on the 29th. It's that countdown. 9 days left. 9, the Hermit. This is like, we're not doing a victory lap around the courtyard yet. And I don't know when I said that because I had already flipped over the King of Pentacles when my camera stopped on me. Make sure this is actually still going because I hate to repeat myself. So the King of Pentacles, Aries and Taurus energy. So we had 2 kings over here on the 19th. The King of Wands, the King of Cups. And I was saying we're halfway back to the Emperor that happened up on the 16th. On Sunday, right? Emperor burnt to the ground, fell out of the tower, rebuilt 2 kings. Now we're working on this 3rd king here. 3/4 of the way back to being the Emperor. But what's going on here is we're not on our high horse doing a victory lap because we're working on this grounding, right? We have this Taurus energy here, one of the bulls from the Thunder card, one of the buffalo. And then we have the upper world. It's through this deep, and I had said this on the 18th, I think. This grounding, going deep within, Leo card inverted is moon energy, but it's also Mercury retrograde, shadow. Communication sort of running backwards. It's like I can go within myself and see more clearly the hits and losses that I've taken that led to that, like, oh, I gambled on something and it killed me big time. Instead of that taking up the Emperor number, I've reduced it to this 6 of Wands. Great. Narrowing it down, illuminating this, working on my interior. I'm gaining hold of my own power because the thunder is that like power energy that's been suppressed within. Right? King's building up his own power, the grounding energy. And Aries energy also is like I'm picking up more of this Emperor command that I wanted or thought I was going to get through this inner work. And now, after I get there, I find that I do have this access to the upper world. And it looks like a bird here, but it's really just wings. But it could be this, it's like this owl that was lurking deep in your gut. It's like, look, we're in the throat chakra. We're almost up into the crown and the soul star chakra, where that connection to the universe isn't going to be broken again. This is healing the curse from the previous day. 59, I wanted to say it breaks down to 60, which is wrong. It breaks down to 14, which is this same number as the king, which breaks down to 5 again, a shift or a pivot. But it's almost 60, which would be the Fool plus this 6 number. It doesn't really matter because it's there's a healing, and it's like I only need one more thing to achieve this healing 6 with the Gemini energy, the Lovers, because the Lovers is a choice, it's healing. I choose to be in my heart center to heal, and to, choose to be in my heart center to heal, which is pulling me towards this completion. But it's not just one, right? It's not just a single 10. It's not just 20. It's, and notice this is 20. 20 is the same number as judgment, which is a karmic overhaul. And I can't help but notice that Pluto is ruling judgment, and Pluto is retrograde. So again, it's like this deepness is erupting, like this buffalo here. But what it's causing is this connection to the upper world. Why? Because the thunder and lightning belongs to the sky. All right, hopefully that made sense. Look at Friday, the day of Venus. Venus in Gemini. Taking the buffalo back up to the sky. Oh my God. Okay. It's just very profound. So we have 7 of Swords. Traditionally the moon in Aquarius, but I've reassigned it Pluto in Aquarius, which is a damn good thing too, because this is that retrograde energy. Pluto retrograde in Capricorn with Aquarius energy. Why? Because Saturn is going retrograde in Aquarius on the 23rd. We're still in this countdown. And let's look at the Aquarian tarot first. Ace of Cups inverted. Yellow here, yellow here. It's pouring out. What's being poured out, though? Well, let's find out. The Heart of the Sky. 24. Oh, that's so weird. I said the buffalo were going back into the sky, and there was a heart center healing. A choice to do a heart center healing releases the power, the energy connection from your core into the sky around. 24 breaks down to 6. That's it, healing. This was coming in inverted. Why? Mercury retrograde. Everything inverted. It's a mirror world. This needs to be in the challenge position, though, and I'm going to get a clarifier card for these other things. I'm sure there's a more in-depth meaning to the Heart of the Sky, but again, I'm not using the book right now. There's a moon here. We have a waning, no, we have a waxing moon, because the new moon, hold on, not this week, but looking, again, this countdown to this stuff that's happening at the end of the month. Full moon in Sagittarius on the 26th. The Fool. Inverted. Okay. Are these all going out? Shuffle this a little bit more. I did a review of this deck and flipped everything back around upright, and now it's all weird. So the Knight of Rods and the Fool inverted. This is Aquarian energy, Uranus. So that's that Saturn retrograde in Aquarius. Knight of Rods. Scorpio and Sagittarian energy. Oh, the new moon, okay. No, the full moon, with Pluto retrograde. Ooh, damn. That's a weird energy. Okay. The 21st is the world. And this actually follows what I was about to say with these cards. Or it precedes what I was about to say with these cards. The world is Saturn energy. Saturn is going to be retrograde in Aquarius in 2 days from this. But it's also pulling this energy with the full moon in Sagittarius. There's Mercury retrograde energy coming too. But particularly the full moon with Pluto retrograde. And again, that Saturn turning in Aquarius, it has to do with perceptions. And then Venus in Gemini too for this day. It's all about concepts and thoughts and perceptions, communication, what you're speaking. This, with this Ace of Cups inverted, it was like the universe like punting the Fool off the cliff. Or it's like they have that Red Bull thing with the little go-kart airplane things, and they run them off of this pier into the water, whatever that thing's called. That's what that reminds me of. An emotional overhaul. There's no way that much communicative, deep subconscious, collective unconsciousness. Yeah, the collective unconsciousness. Because Neptune tends to be the subconscious. Pluto, deep, deep, deep. Collective unconsciousness. That's the aspect that I couldn't remember the whole time I was doing this reading. So Aquarius is the collective consciousness. And Cancer, the moon, is the emotional waters. Alrighty then. I should also point out with this energy, the... How much time have I got? The full moon in Sagittarius in Cancer, with these retrograde energies, a lot of Gemini energy. The North Node Gemini is retrograde, but the South Node is still Sagittarius. But whenever there's activation, whenever the nodes, the North and South nodes become relevant, it tells me there's something that's all encompassing, that encompasses the world, and we have that energy here already. So it's like my whole world is being turned upside down. It's like I achieved this place on the 20th where I was getting like connecting to the upper world. But it's like you don't get the keys to the heart of the sky until you have your emotional overhaul. You can't be taken any more, and it's like you got your connection, but you're not allowed to bring any viruses through this firewall. And what is that? It's emotional baggage that's left over, right? Any emotions that still need to be dumped out. You got any if there's any more demons under that carpet, they need to come out first. We're gonna steam clean that son bitch. All right, so let's get on to Saturday, the 22nd. Just a sniffle, a breath, a huff and a puff before Saturn goes retrograde in Aquarius. So 22, twice 11, Saturn energy, Capricorn energy. 22 is like adding the magician to the world, maybe. Double 11, again, it's like smashing the high priestess and justice together. Or the emperor split into into like thing 1 and thing 2. I'm just going to start another segment. It's going to be a long reading, I guess. Ace of Rods inverted. Interesting. So we're getting 2 aces inverted, and I think that's because we have 2 outer planets in retrograde. And I don't care if you don't think Pluto is a planet. It's so cute. It has a heart on it. Wild Woman inverted. I don't know if I remember what that one's about. I'll have to think about that for a second. It's inverted, but I need it upright so I can think about it. And the Hermit again. This is a weird reading. Okay, Queen of Cups inverted to clarify Ace of Rods inverted. And this Wild Woman was inverted. I'm getting Donovan screaming she's a wild witch lady in my head. Eight of Swords inverted. I want to break free. Get out of jail free card. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Just trying to clarify this because I really want to finish this reading up without having to. 5 of Swords inverted. Mind games. Judgment. Things are not what they seem. Okay. I don't think I want that card. That doesn't quite make sense. I'm gonna get. I actually really need another one of these cards. The giveaway. $23, breaking down to a 5. Put that over here, even though it's not really in focus. Okay. See if I can read this fast enough so I don't lose any of the energies. My throat chakra is going again too. This giveaway card next with combined with this 5 of Swords inverted. It's like it's been a trap where in order to be stable I had to give more than I had the energy or resources to do so. Right? It's like I'm just going to try to get ahead a little bit here while... No, we're actually going to take all of your energy. This was something that I thought had to happen, but I see now that it was a trap. I'm transforming this when I go within and I close out this cycle. Having ignored the cosmic information and my internal information in the past, it cut me off from my natural power. My tuning, this is radio tuning, to the universe. When I complete the cycle, when I close the chapter and I don't have to do it again, I know that I have the power to go within any time I want to. And then I say what I give to other people when and if I have the resources. You know, there's no pyramid scheme here. There's no high risk. So this is resolving this issue, and it came out in a really strange way. I think because this curse that came through is ancestral, so there's a lot of different aspects to it. It's not just one thing, it's another. I'm looking, like, I didn't look at the swords before. I didn't look at this, how repressing and confusing and incriminating the spiel that I was buying into, that I even convinced myself was fine, when other people were like, hang on a second. It's like, no, I can't be wrong. These are the things that were ignored, and all of these really strong energies are helping to resolve this. Even if it ends up feeling like a nightmare, it's like, just hold that space within and sort of like tether yourself to your own insides and let this whole storm like spin out. Like, you know, when they put the stuff in a centrifuge, and it's like blood or food or DNA or whatever, and they spin it and it ends up in like little chambers on the outside. Little bits of it. This is what it's doing to that curse. It's breaking it into little bits and, you know, having a solution to all these pieces, which is why it's spread out like this, heading into the Saturn retrograde the very next day. Alright, so that's it. Really heavy weeks coming through for May. A lot of huge, major shifting energies. It's no joke to break ancestral trauma lines. And, you know, you don't have to travel back in time and rescue every single person. It's a matter of solving your own stuff, and then because time goes in all directions, it heals people sort of after the fact. If that makes sense. It heals the past, it heals the future, but you don't have to save yourself till everyone else is done. You can solve your own stuff first, which is what this giveaway card is talking about. It's like, I've helped myself and now I'm letting my energy out into the universe. Alright, if you want to get a personal reading, the complete list of readings I have is going to be in the description box underneath this video. If you go to my little website here, it's a WordPress. I just wrote it down here, but it's also through the link tree. There's a home page and there's a second page that is also a list of the readings that I offer, but it has little pictures with it too. But it's also in the description box. The link tree is in the description box, which links to these other things also. So if you'd like to help keep this channel running, you can donate PayPal, Cash App, or Venmo, or you can purchase items that I have for sale. So I have coloring books, dark poetry, merch, prints, actual art items, bunch of different kinds of stuff, different mediums, flat, 3D, plushy, and so on. Some of it's psychedelic, some of it's portraiture, some of it's I'm going to be donating portions to charity, so check that all out if you're nasty. I've got some social media. You can come and hang out with me too. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment. Check out my playlists tab, my discussion tab, and stay groovy, and we'll see you later. Bye.